Hello everyone, this is Gorax and today we're gonna cover another exclusive hero, Sleight. He's the poison exclusive hero and we'll find out in this video if he's a good replacement to Lothier or just an addition to the poison team. We're gonna cover his build, artifacts, and how he fits into the poison team alongside with his talents and another poison applier. So, as always, let's start with his skill set. His first skill, the passive, will apply at the start of the battle 3 stacks of potent medicine. Potent medicine deals poison derivative damage equal to 0.5% of the target's max HP. This is very similar to the poison every 5 seconds, up to 30% of caster attack, and when poison damage is triggered, this effect counts as an additional poison stack. This works really well with Lothier's passive, where he deals additional damage based on the poison stacks. This will count as an additional poison stack, exceeding the 40 stacks max. That's the cap, 40 stacks, but with Poison of Slave, we can go over this cap. Also, when each stack of poison medicine expires, is dispelled, or is resisted, there is a 100% chance of inflicting 1 stack of poison on the target for 15 seconds. So we don't really need to build him with resistance if we only care about the poison stacks, but if we want to have additional poison stacks, we need to apply potent medicine. This is why I will use accuracy on him. His battle skill is a powerful single target damage dealing ability. This will be very useful in the poison teams that need to focus on a single target rather than AoE, because it attacks the enemy 4 times, dealing poison damage, and weirdly enough, it doesn't say how much poison damage. Look at this, we don't see these details of how much poison damage, with 75% chance of inflicting 1 stack of normal poison. The last attack has a 100% chance of inflicting 1 stack of the potent medicine poison. Then his ultimate strikes enemies within range 3 times, so very good witches applier as well if you don't have Durango or Twitch. Each dealing damage based on attack and enlightenment, so he does scale with enlightenment, and 100% chance of inflicting 1 stack of poison, so 3 poison stacks. For every 5 stacks of poison the target possesses, there is a 100% chance of inflicting 1 stack of potent medicine. So if we cast this ultimate when the enemy has 40 stacks of poison, we will inflict 8 stacks of potent medicine, which means if we follow up with Lothier, we will be looking at 48 stacks to boost his damage. That's so powerful, and you'll notice how much Lothier's damage is going up with this hero in the team. Now, when it comes to the talents, we'll have the basic talents here. We'll have a choice between the 3 talents. When dealing damage onto the targets inflicted with any negative effect, deals 10% extra damage. When dealing damage with ultimate skills, deals additional damage based on attack. And when dealing damage with ultimate, will do additional damage based on the accuracy of the hero. So you'll need to find what works the best for you against certain content, because it all depends on how much accuracy and attack you have. But the best, I mean, the safest is this 10%, because we will be applying defense down, will be applying poison, so we'll have this constantly, and this increased damage not only of the ultimate but of the battle skill as well. Since we are building him with enlightenment and he scales with it, I believe Soul Reaper will be the best layer for talent, because when we calculate damage for poison damage, poison derivative damage, and poison, we increase the enlightenment by 80. Another good one is shorten poison trigger interval by 1 second. However, if you have someone else in the team with that already, you don't really need to worry about it. Basic attacks have a 30% chance to inflict 1 stack of poison. While this is good, with the team that we'll usually bring, we will have enough poison. And obviously during this initial test, when I show you the damage, you'll see 5 poison heroes just to compare the damage between those 3. We obviously don't need Corin, but later about that. Then we have increased the duration of the poison by 3 seconds, or when granting poison grants 1 extra stack on the target, and also increase accuracy by 50 when inflicting poison. So I went for this because I'm a little bit low on accuracy in this case scenario, but other options are also viable if you want to try them. When it comes to the last layer, we have increased damage dealt by poison by 30%. Casting an ultimate skill dispel all statuses from the hero. We don't need it in this test. And his exclusive talent, Endless Supplies. Each battle skill attack has a 100% chance of inflicting 1 stack of potent medicine, which is huge because his battle skill hits 4 times. So we can apply 4 potent medicine in total, giving more stacks to our Lothier. And lastly, the inspirations. Damage dealt to enemies with a shield increased by 20%. For each enemy on the field, the hero deals 4 more damage, 20% increase if there's 5 enemies. Very powerful. 60 enlightenment, 50 accuracy, and increase potent medicine stack limit to 10. Which is weird because I can swear we're gonna hit the 10 stacks, but you'll see that in a second. So let's have a look at his skills in action. As you can see, we applied 3 potent medicine at the start, now we got it up to 6, and casting ultimate get us to 8 stacks. And similar, we're applying poison, we have quite enough accuracy to do so, so good stacks of poison, good stacks of the potent medicine, and this all increases Lothier's damage. So how do we build him? Interestingly enough, I tried different artifacts and Ricky's boomerang is outperforming any of them. So I compared Ricky's boomerang with the fan as well as with the statue, and this artifact is doing more damage than those two mentioned. So better than Queen's Fan and better than Statue of the Serpent Deity, which is good because we want this artifact on our Lothier if we don't have the exclusive artifact, or on Twitch to do the most damage. When it comes to the build, I put the 4 mythic equipment. Basically, we're gonna use Emperor Armor here, which will grant us extra 25% damage when we are at 100%, and I've used that on the 2 heroes here as well. I didn't use it on Twitch mainly because we just need 1 hero to apply this to work on the target. You could also put it on Corin in your team. Anyway, so we're gonna use Precise Carnage as well, and we build him with attack, enlightenment, and accuracy, enough to cover you in the content you're doing. I also went for this Finality Domination, where we get 6% extra attack per hero from the same school, and Crimson Shadow Hunt Helmet. This is a new equipment from Season 2. At the start of the battle, they were against 20 attack bonus equal to 20% of the attack of the ally with the highest attack. In our case, that will be Corin, whose build with Downpipe Organ to further boost the attack of the range hero. So that is a huge boost. However, another equipment that we will test will be Gilded Shimmer Weapon. This weapon increases the damage dealt through poison, in our case, by 35%. So we'll try that on those heroes who apply poison, which will be Twitch and Sleight, but that's later on. We'll go for Enlightenment Positive Rune and Attack Negative Rune. You can also go for Accuracy, because obviously if you go for higher difficulty content, you will need more accuracy, but for this test, 90 is enough. I try to keep Enlightenment on all of our damage around the same. Ament, as you can see, he's got even more attack. He's got better stats than the Twitch in this team. And just to make sure we have similar equipment on them, I changed the helmet here from that poison one so we can test it. Okay, so that's pretty much it when it comes to building. I increased the level of the dummies, which also increased their defense, so now we'll see better result. I mean, the damage will differ from the previous 2 tests. Also, I reduced the time to 90 seconds as we don't need to play it for 3 minutes, because I've noticed that once we get to this 60-second, the DPS of the team will stay on the similar fashion. Obviously, this is not a team you will run constantly, but I just wanted to show you what happens with Lothiar's burst once we get max poison stacks, as well as all the possible stacks of this toxin. 2 million DPS. Did you see that number? It jumped to 2 million DPS, dropped to 1.2 million right now, and it's gonna go up quite high again. So over 2 million DPS with this team. And as you can see, Sleight is doing similar damage to Twitch. 250,000 and 250,000 on Twitch as well. Twitch is slightly overtaken it, but as you can see, it's going to be all about boosting Lothiar. And obviously with 5 poison heroes, it's easier, but you obviously will want to put at least one support. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play the same team and remove Corrin to see if Corrin is still necessary. I believe with what we have enough poison appliers to make sure Lothiar is hitting the enemy at the maximum stacks. But before we do that, we're gonna use the same team and change the equipment a little bit to see how this new mythic gear works. So just to save it here, this is the DPS the team's done. And remember, I mentioned that already, I've done the tests with other artifacts and they are not performing as well as the boomerang. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna replace this weapon, this finality admonition, and we're gonna use the new artifact to increase the damage dealt by poison on both him and Twitch and see which performance is better. I lost a little bit of enlightenment on Sleight and just a tiny bit on Twitch, so not a big change, but let's play this now and see how much damage we're doing. Now remember, Twitch is still using the chest that grants us the increase of the relative damage, while Sleight has the 25% damage increase. So if we were to move that chest to Corrin and put the 25% increased damage on Twitch, we would probably see Sleight being out-damaged by Twitch. But definitely we can see a slight damage increase. So while it's okay, good in theory, that damage increase from poison is not looking good compared to the raw attack that we can get. But obviously, if you have to mix the team and you have to play poison, 3 heroes of poison plus 2 from the other affinity, you won't gain as much benefit from this mythic equipment. So this might work better. And we can see that now with this set, Sleight is out-damaged by Twitch. Oh, I forgot to show you the outcome. Well, anyway, so let's see how important Corrin is to this team. We're just gonna change the lineup and add a support that doesn't bring much to the team. This is to ensure we still have the same skill timings, and we're gonna play it. Let's see what happens now. How important Corrin is for your team, because remember, in this team with Sleight, Twitch, and Lothiar, you don't really need Durango to apply witch's remain. You can use one or the other to do so. That will work, okay? So we might get rid of Durango and keep Corrin, because I can see a huge DPS drop, at least in the early stages. Look at the poison stacks that we have. While we have 2 at the front with 40 stacks, because that's how they are spread, right? So Twitch is hitting 1 to get to 40 stacks, and everyone else is hitting the one in the back sadly is lower on the stack, so 1 million DPS instead of 1.5, even up to 2 million with the high burst. That is a lot of poison that we lost. So maybe getting rid of Durango and using Sleight as Witch's Remain applier or Twitch as Witch's Remain applier will be better in that case. We can also bring Vicana, remember, that's one way we can do it. That's how we've done it previously, but it's a huge damage loss. But don't forget, we could bring a support with Horn to mitigate that loss. But since we've done it this way, we can just compare what happens when we remove Durango and instead give Sleight or Twitch Witch's Remains. We'll start first with Twitch applying Witch's Remain and then put it on Sleight, mainly because if I put it on Sleight right now, I'll need to change my entire rotation because Twitch is still first. Then we go with Sleight and follow with Lothier. So still can't see that huge damage increase, can't see that huge spike. As we can see, some poisons go reset. So that's not looking good. I think that was actually the toxin that, what's his name, Sleight is applying. Can Corin refresh that? I haven't had the chance to look at it. No, I don't think he can. Okay. So I would say Corin is not really mandatory. I mean, yeah, we can get to 1 million, which is not the end of the world, but definitely something you'll need to try multiple times and find which is more mandatory, Corin or Durango or someone else who can apply poison. Because yes, Lothier does more damage. But we're losing damage on Twitch as well. So the total outcome might not be ideal. But obviously, I want to hear your opinion. Let me know what you think about it so far. I'm still going to continue because now we're going to change the Witch's Remain applier. Apologies, the previous test is invalid. What happened is Durango had the 3-year set and Twitch didn't. So we need to ensure we have that. So we need to rerun it, right? We need Puppeteer set and we need another set, the 3 years in that case. So that's what we're gonna do here. So this will show us the damage output now, and we can see already an increase in damage because now we get. So looks like with the 3-year set, we're doing very similar DPS. We had 1,060,000 without the 3 years, and with 3 years we ended up with 1,080,000. So not a huge improvement, but we definitely lost about 20,000 on Twitch. So wow, surprise. So let's have a look at the total damage done of the team with Witch's Remain on Sleight. So we should be able to see, oh, we need to change the timing. Okay, slight change in the timings to use the new order when Sleight has to be the first one applying Witch's Remain before we cast Twitch's ultimate, etc. So the first burst, and we're looking at almost 1 million, so slightly lower. Okay, so looks like a slightly better damage output both on Twitch. Well, definitely on Twitch, because we're looking at 300,000 compared to 100,000 or 200,000. And Lothier's damage also increased by almost 120,000 DPS. So looks like he might be a better Witch's Remain applier if we ditch Durango. I don't think at this stage you can drop Twitch. I think Twitch is mandatory because you either build Lothier with damage and Slave with damage, or Lothier with damage and Twitch with damage, and one of them with Witch's Remain. And then it's all up to you if you want to use Corin or you want to use another poison hero such as Durango to apply poison. Obviously, all of that was tested against the AoE. and the team will definitely perform different against single target enemies. But that we'll test if we have to. At the moment, we don't. So let me know in the comment section what you think about Sleight. Do you think he's mandatory to pull in for the poison team? Because I believe the poison team is already very versatile and you can create two very strong poison teams. Maybe having an extra one will be an advantage, but remember, in Season 3, we're gonna have a Rook, and that's gonna change the outcome of the game. I want to hear your opinion in the comment section down below, so make sure you do share it. And once again, thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Bye.